Hi, and welcome to the French horn care and maintenance video. Before you open your French horn, make sure that the top of the case is facing up. For many of you, you'll have latches that flip up and then come
Ms.
down.
DiBartolo, please call the office. Ms. DiBartolo, please call the office.
For some of you, you might have latches that simply flip up. Make sure you know which is the top side of your case so that we don't have any accidents. I'm going to put my case on the ground so it doesn't fall off of this table. The French horn uses several things to take care of it. The first thing that we're going to talk about today is rotor oil. The brand of rotor oil that I would like you to get is Hetman's Light Rotor Oil. It's formula number 11. They have several different formulas, and I'm going to show you how to apply this properly. This is the spot that you're going to use your rotor oil first. Take off a valve cap. Make sure your horn is flat, and then you're going to put about 2, maybe 3 drops on that top part that sticks above. Press the rotor to start to draw it down beneath. Place your cap on. Make sure that your cap is sitting level. It should take several turns to get that closed. If it only takes a couple turns, you're going to look down and notice that your cap is not sitting evenly. Stop and do not tighten it more. You will do what we call cross-threading it and ruin it, and you'll have to get that part of the French horn replaced. Work it in some more, and then move down and do the other rotors. If you have a double French horn, you will notice that there are actually 4 rotors. The 3 for your paddles, plus the 1 for your thumb that's either located at this side or this side, depending on the model of your French horn. The next spot that we're going to use this rotor oil at is kind of tricky. Turn your horn over, and on my French horn, it's this spot where it's silver and then it's gold and there's a crack in between. That's where we want to put the oil at. You're going to put just 1 drop in that spot on each of your rotors, whether it's 3 or 4, and work it in some more. So we're going to oil the front and the back of our horns. The next thing we have to oil is the inside. The French horn mechanism is much more complicated, so it requires more oil than all of the other brass instruments. You're going to pull out tuning slide. Just pull out one of them. Don't do them all at once. And then take your blue juice. This has a special astringent in it, and that will help from getting blue and green gunk that builds up inside of our instruments. You're going to place a couple drops in just one of those tubes. Work it in, and then place the tuning slide back in, just in case anything drips out, okay? You're going to do all 3. If you have a double horn, you have 2 stacks of valves on top of each other, just do the top stack because it all goes to the same valve. And you'll want to make sure that the 4th valve, where your thumb rotor is at, there's a little tuning slide for that. Make sure you do that one as well. The final thing that we have to do for French horn, as far as oiling greasing, is to use tuning slide grease. I like the Super Slick brand. It's a white with a red label on it because it is a really good consistency to use. It's not too thin and it's not too thick. If it's too thick, your slides will still not quite move right. They get really gummy, and every time you touch it, it sticks to your hands. If your tuning slides aren't perfectly aligned and they're just off a little bit, really thick grease will still make it hard to move, but this is a good consistency that we can still make that situation work. You're going to pull out a tuning slide. Just do one at a time because they look like they're the same, but they're not, and it's kind of easy to get them mixed up. Take a cleaning cloth. This is just a mechanic's towel that I like to use. You can use an old shirt, cut out a square from it. a sock. The music stores do sell cleaning rags. You don't have to buy one of those special ones. Any old rag that you have at home is fine. Wipe off all of the old grease. You will notice that there's going to be a lot of gross black, green, brown gunk on there. Definitely want to get all that off so that we don't keep it on our French horn. Take your tuning slide grease and wipe it on to both sides. Next, you're going to reinsert it back into the French horn. Insert one side of the slide, work in it a couple times, then do the other side. If you can, it depends on the French horn. Sometimes you can't really get both sides in. And then insert it back in, push it all the way in, and you might notice that a little bit of that tuning slide grease will gush out. That's fine, that's normal. Wipe it off. And then pull out your tuning slide a little bit. These are actually not meant to be pushed in all the way. And then do your other slides. On a single French horn, you have one slide for each valve, so 3. And then you'll have usually just one on the back side. You want to grease these tuning slides once, maybe twice per month to keep them moving properly. If they don't move, come see me and I will help you free it up. If you have a double French horn, you will have 2 stacks that you have to do. Plus you're going to have the one that's connected to your thumb rotor and at least one on the back. So there is a lot more to do. Make sure you set aside probably about 10 minutes to grease all of these slides. The last thing that we have to do with French horn is to clean out our mouthpiece. You are going to notice that over time, your French horn mouthpiece, if you look through it, gets very, very gunky. You'll see little bits of food and other gross stuff in there. So you will want to get a mouthpiece cleaning brush. It looks like this little Christmas tree kind of looking thing, okay? And you're going to use warm water. You should be able to touch it. It should not burn your hand. If you use too hot of water, it will take off the silver plating from your mouthpiece and ruin it. So don't do that, okay? Just lukewarm water. And then liquid dish soap like Dawn that you would use on your dishes. Use some warm water, run it under the sink, insert it in. It is not going to go through all the way, only part way, and then go through the other side a couple times. Again, it's not going to go through all the way, just part way. Rinse it out and you're good to go. You want to do this a couple times a month as well, especially if you have band after lunch. You have all those food particles that are still inside. They're going to blow through into your mouthpiece and instrument, and it's very disgusting and smells bad. So make sure we clean these out every couple weeks. That's everything for French horn maintenance.